Today, we're joined by entrepreneur, author, keynote speaker, 2.8 million YouTube subs, built and sold biotech company by age 19, Evan Carmichael. Welcome to the show.
Thanks a lot, Mark. Good to be here, man.
Evan, it's my pleasure. I've been following you on YouTube for quite some time. Really, really impressive. Before we get into modern day tactics, I want to go back in time a little bit. And I got to ask you, age 19, you've got a great offer, great company that you can go work for, but you decide, you know what, I'm going to double down. I'm going to go all in on entrepreneurship. Why would you take that risk? Why take that risk at 19?
Mark's done his homework. He's done his homework digging through my background. Regret, dude. It was regret. I didn't want to live with the regret of knowing, or of not knowing, of wondering what if. And I didn't know what I wanted to do. So I had an offer, 6 figures out of school with the dream job that I thought I wanted in investment banking and traveling around the world and all the stuff that I thought I wanted and my friends wanted. It was all the jobs that we were after. Or make $300 a month, own 30% of this biotech startup. And I didn't know that it would work. I wasn't that smart. It was more, I needed to know. I would rather know and fail than not know. And the thing that gave me the confidence to do it was I gave myself a year. Some of my friends were taking a year to travel or backpack or explore or whatever. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to take a year and do this. And worst case, I go and get another job. It may not be the same job in the same company for the same pay with the same travel, but I could always get another job, I thought, in investment banking. At least that's what I convinced myself of. But I didn't know if this entrepreneurial thing would ever happen again. So I need to say yes, and I need to try it. And thankfully, it worked out. It wasn't easy, but it worked out, and I haven't had to have a job since.
That's a beautiful thing. And I think that really resonates with me a lot as well, Evan. My grandfather, rest in peace now. I remember sitting beside him and him opening up a scrapbook and going through all his entire life. And I said to myself, hey, I'm going to have to do this with my grandkids one day. And am I going to live with that regret from not taking the risk, from not taking that leap? Really resonates a lot. But the challenge is, you get into this business, you're trying to build it up and nothing is working. How did you know that I'm going to continue to double down when nothing's working and everything's burning around you? It's hard as an entrepreneur to keep seeing and keep believing in yourself, right? What caused you to do that?
Well, I think lack of belief is the world's biggest problem. It's what I'm waking up every day trying to help people through. I think everybody's got what I call Michael Jordan level genius at something, but we're not doing it. You could be the best in the world at something, but it's probably not what you went to school for, and it's probably not what your parents did or anybody around you is doing. And it's trying to keep that belief alive that you could be the world's greatest at something, and you've got to find it. And if you haven't found it, you got to go out and search. And if you have found it, but you're just not good enough yet, you got to keep honing the craft. For me, the toughest day of my life was when I was 20 or so, and I quit on my business partner. I said, I quit. I can't do this anymore. It's not working. I feel worthless as a human. It's like I'm putting in lots of work, lots of hours every day. I wasn't seeing my friends, wasn't going out. I had no money to go out anyway. It's just wake up, go to my business partner's apartment. I work from his dining room table, work all day long until it was past dark, and go sleep, wake up next day, same thing. That was my rinse and repeat every single day. So it wasn't for lack of effort. If you're not trying hard and you don't get results, it's kind of okay. But it's when you're pounding your face in and you're still just not getting anywhere that you start to feel, at least for me, like a worthless human being. And so I quit on the business, and I said, I need to feel like I'm just valuable somewhere, right, somehow, and then that night I barely slept, and I woke up the next day with the same thing in my head of, I don't want to live with regret. It's like, you know what? I don't know if this is going to work out. Given everything that's happened, is probably not going to work out. But I know I haven't given everything I've got yet. And I don't want to look back when I'm X number of years old and say, I wish back when I was 20, I just gave it one more week or one more month because I had a little left in my tank. And that gave me the courage to just keep going.
Well, I think that's an intangible of every great entrepreneur. You have to have that grit, that determination, because things are going to go bad. It is going to happen, whether it's drama with your spouse or with a business partner or with the bank, it's inevitable, right? I'm kind of curious. You're working with thousands and thousands and thousands of entrepreneurs, hundreds of thousands of entrepreneurs. What do you find is a common denominator as far as a great challenge that all great entrepreneurs must overcome to get to that next level?
I think it all starts with the belief that it's possible. I think there's so many people who are super smart, who have great ideas, who also want to serve. It's not just about making $1 million, but it's about serving people. I've met so many entrepreneurs who've got a huge heart, a great message, a great story, a fantastic product or service, want to serve and want to do good, but because they don't believe they can, they get stuck. They get stuck in things that don't matter. Somebody wants to start a podcast. They get stuck in, well, what microphone do I use? And I don't have the perfect headset yet. And I don't know how to ask questions yet. And all of the things that just prevent you from doing the thing that you could be great at. And meanwhile, there are dummies out there with less heart, less care, less drive, ambition to do good, who are winning off of your idea because they just started, because they just did something. Meanwhile, you're still stuck overthinking, over-planning, over-preparing for what the perfect launch is going to be. And I'm just trying to apply pressure against that to say, go, make, create. You'll figure it out. Like, we can't be here in the same spot in 6 months still planning our exit.
Yeah, that perfection paralysis is a killer. It's definitely delayed my progression quite a bit, but eventually you just got to put it out there and let other people give you feedback. Do you think that that's also really, really important, at least for you, surrounding yourself with the right people? I know, kind of fast forwarding a little bit, when it comes to your YouTube growth journey, as soon as you brought on a coach or a mentor, it just kind of exploded. How important do you think that is for an up and coming entrepreneur?
I think, always afraid to ask for help. I was afraid of disappointing other people. I had a lot of insecurities. And so it took me a lot longer than I think it needs to take people. Like, part of it is I'm still, as much as I'm going off on people, say, hey, get started, go do it. I'm still talking to myself from 19, right? I mean, your purpose comes from your pain. Whatever you struggled the most with is what you want to help other people not have to suffer through. So, it took me a long time before I was willing to ask for help, to get some coaching and mentoring. Steve, who's still my agent today, I don't know how many years ago now that was when he first helped me, but gave me some great feedback and advice for me to get better. And I did the work, and I slowly got better. I mean, I have over 10,000 videos now on my channel. Not all of them are public, because a bunch of them are practice sessions. 10,000 videos. Like, forget the 10,000 hour rule. It's like 10,000 videos on the channel. It's crazy. This is a lot of work, but for me, I'm introverted. I'm shy, super uncomfortable in front of the camera. All of the things that I think your audience could probably get there a lot faster than me if they didn't do as many stupid things as I did. And that's partly why I want to get on and share the message. Like, how long did it take you to go from the idea of having this show to actually recording the first episode?
It was a little while. I mean, to be frank, I tried a number of different businesses and projects. I knew I wanted to take control of my life, right? Because I didn't want to be that corporate drone who didn't have control of my destiny. That's, to me, one of my biggest fears, is not having control. So I tried a number of different things, and things just kept they either didn't work or they didn't feel right. They didn't feel like a fit for me as a person. They work for someone else, but maybe not for me. But I think
this show, you had an idea for a show like this. How long before you actually recorded your first episode?
I would say, so this show specifically, after I was an entrepreneur, I had the idea for maybe a year or so, but I was already doing another podcast. I was trying to kind of learn the ropes. But one of the things that I think is funny for me, Evan, is I could have launched the show probably 6 months earlier than I did, but I wanted the perfect name. I just wanted to have that perfect name.
Yeah.
And and in hindsight, it's such a silly thing.
It doesn't matter, but this is what people, and hey, congrats to you on not letting that 6 months or 12 months be 5 years, because that's what a lot of people do. And my obsession is to shorten that gap from 6 months to 6 hours. Because episode 1 should be, you pull out your phone, you press record, and say, hey guys, it's Mark. I'm starting a new show. I don't know what I'm going to call it yet. And I'm tired of spending all this time thinking about stupid names. So I'll figure out what I'm going to call it later. I'm starting this new show. It's going to be about telling people's journeys and their come-ups and trying to share advice and wisdom. And I'm super scared about doing this because I tried a whole bunch of other things that haven't worked out yet. But hopefully this is the one that lets me win because I'm tired of being a corporate drone and I need to escape. And hopefully if I figure that out, you guys can learn with my journey too, and you guys can go off and build something amazing. So there you go, episode 1. Thank you for subscribing. I'll see you soon. Post, right? Like, that's episode 1. 45 seconds or 2 minutes. I don't know how long I talked there. But, like, that should be episode 1. And then you make it better because maybe you filmed that when it was windy outside and there was all sorts of, a bug flew in your face or whatever, right? Like, you record and you get it up there. Because I think it's great to be able to look back on the archive. Episode 1 should suck.
Right.
Because what's your message to people? Only create when it's perfect? Right? That's not the message that you're trying to say. So why is that? And not you, Mark, like everybody. This is everybody, right? All the ideas that you're thinking on, you're sitting on, you're dreaming on one day, right? Your message to your kids is not going to be wait until it's perfect. Wait till you have it all figured out. Wait till you have the great name before you launch. Your message to them is going to be put it up, start, create momentum, like let's go. So your first episode should suck because you don't want people to look back on your thing to say, well, look at you, Mark. Like when you started, you had everything all set up. You had everything perfect, right? So people should be able to go back to episode 1 and see how crappy it is. Like I think if episode 1 doesn't suck, then you suck as a human because you waited like way too long to actually get it going.
That's a good point, and especially with the resources we have. I mean, you could have a YouTube channel up and running in less than an hour off of your smartphone. Why wait? Why wait? You just don't know what's going to happen. I had a video that's now reached almost 500,000 people and only have 500 subscribers on the channel. So it's just pretty crazy what can happen when you start putting yourself out there. And listen, everyone, I want you to go ahead and post something today that you were uncomfortable with. And I want you to tag Evan Carmichael. I want you to show him some love because that's what he does. And thank you so much for watching. I'm glad you enjoyed this episode. I've got several other episodes right here for you. Smash one of these videos to make sure that you don't miss out on the tips, tools, and tactics of industry experts. Let's take that side hustle full time. Smash one of these links.